The family of a woman found murdered in a Salt Lake City hotel room say they just want to know who killed her and why. 34-year-old Holly Cargis was found dead yesterday at the Royal Garden Inn, located in downtown Salt Lake.
That's where Fox 13 Caroline Connolly is standing by tonight with the story. Caroline.
I hope, yeah. The Cargis family says they have no idea what led Holly Cargis to this hotel. And right now, all they want to know is what happened. The last time anyone spoke to Holly Cargis was Wednesday, when the mother of 4 called her boyfriend to let him know she was leaving to meet a friend.
That was the last time he talked to her.
Instead, Cargis wound up here at the Royal Garden Inn, where police found her body Thursday morning.
I don't know why she would have been at that hotel. She's not that type of person. She's not that type of girl.
According to family friend Tammy Coles, Cargis was found in an unfinished room on the back of the hotel.
Someone had broke the back window, and that's how they were able to see her in there, because I guess maintenance saw it.
What they don't know is who left her there.
We just want to know that she didn't suffer. You know, Holly was loved by so many people. She worked at the local store down here, and she had so many friends. She was just loved by everyone.
Cargis' family says police found Holly Cargis' purse in that room with her, but none of her other belongings. The family says somebody stole her wallet as well as some jewelry she was wearing before they left Hope.
What a mystery we have going on. Do police know how she died?
The medical examiner's office was doing an autopsy today, but police have not released the details of that yet. The family said tonight they desperately want to know that information, but it's something they're also obviously dreading.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye on this case. Thank you, Caroline.
Mystery at a hotel.
A young woman found dead in a hotel room. The Eye Opener, Sarah Kanji, live for us in Braintree this morning with the new details we're learning. Sarah.
Antoinette and Randy, there's not a lot of information about exactly what happened here at this hotel, but the DA's office is calling the death suspicious. We are hearing about the phone call that brought police to this hotel.
Male party in the lobby, saying his wife is in response in the bed. In the room 220.
When officers arrived at the Hyatt Place just before 8 yesterday morning, they found the body of a 19-year-old woman. Authorities have not said or confirmed what the relationship was between the man who reported that she was unresponsive and the victim found. Hotel guests were unnerved by all the police activity.
We saw the ambulance and the firefighters and police come, and we saw a gurney go up, but we didn't see anybody come down.
The manager of the Hyatt released a statement that reads in part, "Our hearts go out to the victim's family, and we appreciate the community's respect for their privacy during this difficult time." Now, at this point, the victim, we don't know her name. She has not been identified. All the DA's office saying is that she was from Lawrence. Live this morning in Braintree, Sarah Kanji, WCVB News Center 5.
Beach, where the woman's body was found. Police tell me the call initially came in for an unresponsive female, but that switched to a murder investigation after suspicious evidence was found. The call for help came in around 4 a.m. this morning. Officers found an unresponsive woman in the hotel room with Henderson. Police say they don't know much yet about the relationship between the two, but sources say the woman has a local address. The suspect has a California address. I'm told the woman was found with injuries. A Waikiki neighborhood board member tells me the recent murders are troubling. She says she'd like to see more police presence in Waikiki, adding it's been brought up in neighborhood meetings.
This seems to be an isolated incident. There's nothing to support that this is part of any additional crime or crime spree or anything like that. So, I mean, it's something that is very unfortunate, but it occurs. Random acts of violence occur anywhere. I don't think it's has anything to do with the particular location in question.
I think anytime you have violence, there's hurts. People don't come here to be assaulted or damaged. They come here to relax and to feel a piece of paradise. Murder is not a part of anybody's image of paradise, so of course that's going to be problematic. But that's why we have to emphasize at the same time just how rare it is in Waikiki. We would like more police presence, absolutely, and particularly police on foot, where they become part of the neighborhood and they enhance the aloha spirit.
I checked with HPD. They wouldn't tell me how many officers are assigned to Waikiki, but I am told
I had a problem here until now.
Fearing the worst, Southside residents on edge tonight after a man is found dead inside a Southside hotel. Neighbors are telling us they're worried for their safety after the man was found at the in-town suites on St. John's Bluff.
Jacksonville police received a tip this afternoon saying the man was dead inside a hotel room. Investigators are now suspecting foul play. News4JAX Corley Peel joining us live with reaction from people living at the extended stay. Corley, neighbors, they're rattled after hearing this news.
They are. Many neighbors I spoke with say they were shocked when they learned a man was found dead inside a room here on the second floor of this motel this afternoon. But some say crime in this area isn't unusual. Dre Davis and his family are sleeping somewhere else after learning a man was found dead inside a room at the in-town suites Monday afternoon.
That right there kind of scared me, because right now we're not even going to be here tonight because of this.
Davis says the motel is no stranger to crime.
Police get caught out here a lot. You know, there be arguments out here a lot of fights and stuff.
According to JSO's crime map, in the past month, there have been 10 assaults, 3 robberies, and 4 burglaries within a 1-mile radius of the motel.
I'm going to probably be looking for somewhere else to be here pretty soon, that's for sure.
JSO received an anonymous tip saying the man was dead inside the motel room around 3:30 p.m. Police found the man's body inside the motel room, and now they suspect foul play. Investigators haven't identified the man, but neighbors say the man stayed there with his girlfriend and their young child.
He say good morning or good afternoon or whatever he see anybody. He stayed to himself, but it's kind of shocking to see, he's gone.
Davis is now hoping police will find whoever is responsible. Police have not identified any suspects at this time. Those with any information are urged to call Crime Stop.
And breaking news in Burlington this noon. Sky 5 over the scene. A woman has been found dead in a hotel room. News Center 5 Sarah Kanji is live with what's happening right now. Sarah?
Well, there is limited information available right now, but we can tell you there is a significant police presence here at the Extended Stay America Hotel here in Burlington. A spokesman for the Burlington Police Department says that they are calling this an unattended death. Investigators are on the scene here. They're waiting for a search warrant to get into the room where the body was found. Now, no information has been released about this victim or the circumstances of this death. Only guests of the hotel are allowed onto the property. It is near the Burlington Mall. One guest told WCVB that she returned home last night at around 12:45 and was not allowed into the hotel until 4 a.m. She was told that they're investigating a shooting, that there had been shots fired. Again, at this point, though, officially, Burlington PD only saying that this is an unattended death. They're waiting for a search warrant to learn more. Live in Burlington this noontime, Sarah Kanji, WCVB News Center 5.
In this afternoon with breaking news, a woman found dead inside the MGM Grand.
The shocking discovery made earlier today. 7 Action News reporter Simon Shayket is live at the MGM. Simon, what have you learned?
Dave, Glenda, sources telling me detectives are still inside that top-level MGM Grand hotel room gathering evidence as we speak. Here's what we've confirmed. A woman in her 30s was found dead inside of a room at roughly noon today. Sources are telling me that she was assaulted and that her boyfriend was placed under arrest after causing a disturbance in the lobby and allegedly telling security that he had killed his girlfriend. The man in custody is 33 years old and his name has not been released so far. Police also have not given out the identity of the woman found dead, but once again, the victim's boyfriend is locked up at this time. Take a listen.
It appears to be a domestic situation, a very tragic domestic situation that is unfolding as we speak. Good news is that the perpetrator is in custody.
Of course, police will be able to access surveillance cameras from outside the room to determine who was inside before and after the alleged crime. Reporting live, Simon Shayket, 7 Action News.
It's happening in Westminster. A woman's body has been discovered inside a hotel room.
CBS News' Jasmine Veal is live. She's at the Quality Inn on Westminster Boulevard with the murder investigation that is now just beginning. Jasmine.
Yeah, Jeff, what we do know is that this was a young mother. We don't know what she was doing here at this motel room or how she was murdered inside of that room and who did it.
She didn't deserve this. She just turned 22.
The family of a young woman found murdered in her motel room last night collected her belongings from the Quality Inn this morning.
I just hope that, if anybody knows anything, that they'll come forward because, at the end of the day, she was somebody's daughter, sister, and she was well loved.
Marina Hanley says the victim was like a sister to her and had kids of her own. Detectives wouldn't say how the woman was killed or when. Only that she checked into the inn sometime this week and was from Southern California. Forensic teams and investigators worked through the night asking hotel guests what they may have witnessed.
Had not heard anything remarkable, outstanding, or something that would cause me to be anxious.
Shocked and kind of curious as to what's going on.
Westminster police say worried family members alerted them that the woman may be in trouble, so police went to check on her, and that's when they found her dead.
It was unusual, and it sparked the family's concern enough to call us and check on her.
Her family did not want to give her name. They only said she was taking online courses studying psychology, and now figuring out how to break the tragic news of her death to her children.
It's like you're losing a child, so it's definitely going to be hard on a lot of people.
And you're looking at the scene, the crime scene, where detectives...
A woman was found dead inside a Crowne Plaza hotel room in Garden Grove near the Disney Resort on Friday morning.
At about 9:51 in the morning, Garden Grove police officers were dispatched to the Crowne Plaza regarding a suspicious circumstances call. When officers arrived, they found from hotel staff a deceased female. We don't have her positively identified at this point.
Garden Grove police would not release details of the investigation, but are calling it a homicide.
It's still a very fresh scene. It's only a few hours old. Investigators are looking at surveillance video. The hotel does have surveillance video, and they're checking to see if we have any evidence.
One hotel guest said things were quiet the previous night.
Last night we didn't hear anything, but it was pretty... We got in about... What time did we get in? About 10, 11? Yeah. It was pretty dead. The cops were here all morning. There was a bunch of, probably 8 squad cars. Bellhops and stuff wouldn't tell us anything, but we saw it on the news shortly after, and we figured that it was here because there's a lot of tension going around the hotel.
Mark Eads reporting for OCRegister.com.
Always taking action for you.
And first at 6, the investigation of a business deal that deals in human body parts shifting from Detroit to Chicago as the feds launch a new raid.
And once again, hundreds of families will be left wondering if the bodies of loved ones have been bought and sold on the black market.
7 Action News investigator Jim Kirchner is here tonight with a story you'll see only on 7 Jim.
Stephen and Carolyn, this case started here, according to sources, when a man named Arthur Rathburn was shipping human body parts through Metro Airport. Get this, the box leaked blood. Those cargo haulers then called for help. Why were you stockpiling hundreds of human body parts here, sir? That's Art Rathburn. And remember his business 13 months ago? For 2 days, federal investigators dressed in hazmat suits removed body parts of 1,000 different people. Arms, legs, heads cut up and kept on ice, not embalmed, so they would be fresh for the black market. Today, the rundown warehouse on Detroit's east side is shuttered and up for sale. Sources say Rathburn's seized records led them to the Chicago area today, a business called Biological Resource Center in Rosemont. It's difficult to see from the outside, but sources say the hazmat suits and raid are underway on the 6th floor of this office building. The same paper trail led investigators to Biological Resource Center in Phoenix last January, and another raid removing body parts and corpses. There were also ties to similar businesses in Las Vegas. Since these dealt directly with the public, families were left without answers. Julie donated her husband Steve's body and was promised his cremated remains back in a month.
Confused and angry. We thought this was going to be doing some good. Yet it doesn't sound like it is.
What do you say to all those families who had no idea their loved ones were in here? Michigan pulled Art Rathburn's.
Things like this that would happen to other moms, and my heart would go out to them. But until you actually walk in their shoes, you have no idea.
Her daughter was found dead inside a sheriff deputy's home.
After months without answers, the Dallas mom called the I-Team.
Investigator Ginger Allen digs into this mysterious death.
Hey, this is the sheriff. Need you get units and EMS to roll.
May 20th, the Nacogdoches County Sheriff Department rushed to the home of one of its own. A deputy had just made a gruesome discovery inside his son's bedroom.
Somebody there, he believes, has shot themselves.
26-year-old Christian Hobson, the girlfriend of the deputy's son, lay in a pool of blood, shot in the head. The gun in her hand, her car parked out front, and signs of forced entry at the back door. No one else around.
You were told this is suicide. Immediately, they told me, yes.
But Lavera Hobson, Christy's mom, is convinced her daughter, an aspiring actress and college student, would not take her own life.
And she never would have committed suicide. She never would have taken her own life. No, I knew better than that.
The day before she was found, Hobson had driven from Dallas to Nacogdoches to work a big event at this restaurant. That afternoon, the club owner sent Hobson to the local liquor store, where receipts show she purchased supplies around 5 p.m.
She didn't come back that night, so we expect her next morning. We all start calling her to try to see where she is.
We knew the instant she didn't respond back almost immediately that something was wrong.
The deputy's son told investigators after Hobson's supply run that the two of them met at a hotel where they argued, and Hobson left without her purse or cell phone. That was the last time she was seen alive. Less than 24 hours later, her body was found at his house. Because the case involved the home of local law enforcement, the sheriff immediately called in the Texas Rangers. That was 9 months ago.
I need answers. I need to know what happened to my baby. I need to know.
She could not get answers, but just days after the I-Team started investigating,
the Rangers ruled this a suicide. The county closed the case, and it finally turned over these documents to us, revealing details about its first few hours in this investigation.
Sometimes it's hard for family members to accept the facts, and I understand that.
Just last week, Sheriff Jason Bridges sat down to talk to the I-Team.
I can assure them, as a sheriff in Nacogdoches County and as the Texas Rangers, that this investigation was thoroughly done.
Do you understand why the family and friends have questions?
Yes, because I have questions.
The I-Team also took the report to crime analyst and former police chief Catherine Smith-Torres.
I think that there are red flags.
Among those, the autopsy report, which shows Hobson had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit.
It just doesn't sound logical that someone that drunk was able to drive to the home, able to find the tools to break into the back door, and able to find the gun, load the gun, and shoot themselves.
Torres also questions how right-handed Hobson shot herself on the left side and why the county allowed an investigator to collect evidence at the scene after revealing she was once married to the deputy's son.
She should have never been there at all. That taints your scene.
I know the appearance of how that looks. It does not look good. It was a very short marriage. She told the ranger as soon as he arrived. She was supervised through the entire time that evidence was collected. She was never by herself.
Sheriff Bridges tells us the deputy and his family were ruled out as suspects early on, and he says blood splatter analysis, interviews, and other evidence support a suicide. Hobson's friends and family are not convinced.
I want the truth. I want to know what happened.
You want me to just go away quietly, like nothing has happened? You want me to accept this? I would never accept it.
Hobson's family has hired a private investigator and is now considering filing a lawsuit. We are waiting for the Rangers report, which is public information now that the case is closed. So far, the Rangers have only sent us this statement saying after a detailed investigation, the Rangers report was submitted to the county district attorney's office, and it concluded there is no evidence to suggest foul play here.
Actually lives on the 3rd floor. He said that.
We begin with some breaking news right now. A homicide investigation underway in North Charlotte. According to CMPD, a man was found dead in a motel room there. All of this happening off Reagan Drive. Let's get out to NBC Charlotte's Richard DeBay. He is live. A very active scene out there, Richard.
Absolutely correct, Brooke. As we arrived right behind the mobile command unit. They were coming to investigate. We can tell you that crime scene investigators are here as I step out of the way. Police still on the scene. As you said, a very active scene. We've been told by a resident who actually lives on the 3rd floor. He said that it was next door to his room. He said that he saw a large police presence outside. Now, for what police are saying, they said that a maintenance worker had tried to go into that particular room this morning around 10:30ish this morning. That's when they discovered a man who was unresponsive. And shortly thereafter, police were called, came to the scene, said that man was dead. And by describing the room, they say that this definitely wasn't a natural cause of death. We can tell you that they already have identified the person, but they have not contacted that person's next of kin. Of course, when they get that information, we'll give it to you both here and online. Right now, we're off of Reagan Drive. This is Richard Devane, NBC Charlotte.
Richard, thank you.
Well, police investigate reports of a suspicious death in Virginia Beach. Our photographer on the scene said investigators towed a green two-door Honda Accord. They searched room number 106. Detectives say they found a dead woman at the Studio and Suites for Less Hotel on South Military Highway. They got the call just before 6 this morning. Police won't release her identity until they talk to her family, and we'll let you know when we get an update on their investigation.
Eastern Shore arson suspect
dead in a motel in Aurora. Now police are investigating exactly how she died. I'm Britt Marino. Thanks for being with us on this 4th of July holiday. That investigation tops our news this afternoon. Our Jamie Leary is covering Colorado for us and joins us live. And Jamie, you're hearing a lot of different stories about how this young woman died.
Absolutely, and Britt, we just got an update. This case has been sealed by order of the courts, but it was moments ago that Aurora police said that they were willing to release the name of the suspect in this case. Now, that name just so happens to match the name of the young man who checked into this motel, the King's Inn, on Saturday with 18-year-old Allie Raber. Aurora police say they are looking for this young man. He's pictured right here with Allie, 20-year-old Arturo Garcia. Family members say Garcia is an ex-boyfriend of Allie's. The manager here at the Knights Inn checked the records and confirmed Garcia checked in with Allie on Saturday. They had the room until Monday. They were staying in room 139. The hotel manager says there was nothing odd about the pair's behavior, but on Sunday, June 2nd, a maid discovered Allie on the bathroom floor of the motel room. I spoke with her father recently, who says the coroner told him she died due to asphyxiation, specifically that she was choked to death. Garcia was nowhere to be found. Now, while investigators say that they have court orders to not reveal any further details at this point in time, they did tell me the investigation is very active and said if you have any information on the whereabouts of Garcia or any information on the case at all, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 720-913-STOP. Live in Aurora, Jamie.
21-year-old Sabrina Kamlik A popular college student studying public health at Syracuse's David B. Falk College of Sport and Human Dynamic was found dead in a Times Square hotel room in New York yesterday morning, Saturday, March 7th, after partying with friends the previous night. The athlete, who was a member of the Syracuse University track and field team, was on spring break with a group of friends when the sad event occurred. After partying, they retired to their room only for Sabrina not to wake up the next morning. A police source told the New York Daily News they all went into sleep, and when they woke up, she didn't wake up. No drugs were found in the room and there were no signs of trauma on her body. Despite this, some of her friends on Twitter are saying that someone may have slipped something in her drink while out at a club the night before, and whatever it was killed her in her sleep.
Developing right now, detectives are trying to solve a woman's murder in St. Petersburg. Officers found 24-year-old Destiny Burks dead inside a room at the La Quinta Motel on 34th Street North. Our John Thomas is following this crime alert for us tonight. John?
Well, you know, when the Pinellas County Sheriffs got the call and they went out to the La Quinta, they quickly figured out this is not good. So they started questioning people in the area. They started following up on leads. And right now they're just looking for answers. And for the family, that's all they want. They want answers to. Family and friends gather at a home in Gulfport for strength. Lost to them, a friend, a daughter, a sister, 24-year-old Destiny Burks.
She's always a free-spirited person. She always just jumps out there. She's a one-man army. She don't need nobody to, back her up.
Her friend Katrina Hicks would describe Destiny as strong and independent. She studied nursing and wanted to learn sign language, all to help others. Destiny's younger sister, Mariah Holland, would remember the last conversation they had just a few days ago.
She was like, "You haven't called me in a few days. How are you?" And I was asleep. So she was just like, "I was just checking up on you. I love you." And that was it. She used to always call me her baby.
The girl's warm, heartfelt thoughts and memories are the emotional side to this story that has now come to a cold, heartless end. On Monday, Destiny's body was found here at this hotel off US 19, just north of St. Pete, La Quinta Inn, room 120. The Sheriff's Office quickly determined that she was murdered, and so the hunt is now on for whoever is responsible. According to the Sheriff's Office,
crime scene investigators are trying to figure out why a woman was found dead inside this Budget Inn motel in Stanislaus County.
That's my first time seeing anything like that.
Two young men who clean hotel rooms say they discovered the woman's body here after there were complaints of odor coming from the bathroom.
And we opened up the bathroom door, and she was laying there on the ground.
Stanislaus County Sheriff deputies say the initial call came around 10:30 this morning.
When emergency medical crews arrived, they found an adult female dead inside one of the motel rooms.
According to witnesses, she was discovered face down on the floor with what appeared to be wounds to her face and neck. Circumstances deputies deemed suspicious and immediately blocked off the area.
We are treating this currently as a homicide based on what detectives are finding inside the crime scene.
While sheriff officials aren't yet saying what exactly was found.
So they'll be sketching the crime scene. We're obviously looking for witnesses.
They're trying to figure out how the woman came to be here.
Whether she's a resident or somebody that was just hanging out here at the motel, that'll be information that we get over the next few hours as investigators work on this.
In Stanislaus County, Linda Muma, KCRA 3 News.